Alright guys, let's go ahead and talk about timers for a minute. Now, anytime you have a question or a problem that has to do with time, say we need this light to turn on for 3 seconds and then turn off, or we need, let's say we need a buzzer to go after the circuit turns off for 5 seconds, you're going to have to use a timer. Now this is the timer that we use right here. This is probably the most basic timer you're ever going to see. It's really pretty non-complicated. It does, I want to point out, has these little hooks right here on the side that actually hook the timer onto the base, and again it just looks like that. This is almost identical to the relays that you've been working with, so shouldn't be anything crazy there. Again, remember all of the numbers for the terminals are marked here on the bottom, and we've got our schematic. So I went ahead and drew up our schematic here really quick, but before I get into that, I wanted to show you guys how to adjust this. So let me go ahead and we'll get really close here. You can see there is, and I could be looking at this thing wrong, yep, there's a screw right here off to the side. Now if we take that screw and we start to spin it, you're going to notice that the face changes. I don't know if I can show you that there. Alright, so if you wanted to change the intervals that this thing is moving at, you could just kind of switch it around and it'll change it from seconds to minutes. I think it even goes into hours if you get that far into it, okay? You're also going to see that there is a blinking light off to the side for being power and stuff like that, and it'll sit there and blink. So let's go ahead and talk about this schematic for a second. Now, there's not really a heck of a lot of differences between this schematic and the relay schematic. Now, the reason I usually, when I'm talking about these, I call them a relay timer, because it's almost just like a relay, except we're going to add some time in there. So what's going to happen is this thing, as we energize this coil or this input with a positive here, so we're going to put power to 2 and 7, and it's going to start a timer. Once that timer is finished, these up here, these switches, are going to change states. So this right here is a switch. So what's going to happen is it's going to be here, and after the time is done, it's going to click down to here. So right now, oops, let me clean that up a little bit. So right now, between terminal 1 and terminal 4, we have a normally closed circuit. But after, let's say we set this thing for 3 seconds, after that 3 seconds, we would have 1 is now going to be connected to 3, okay? See how that could become kind of useful, especially anytime you want a buzzer to go on for a little while, or you want something to happen for a little while, that's how you would do it. Now remember, with the relay we have 2 separate sides. Well, we pretty much have the same thing with this timer, meaning we have this one can be set up to do something, and this one over here can be set up to do something. The problem is that these actually run off the same timer. So it's not like you can run this half for 3 seconds and this half for 10 minutes. No, they're both set to the exact same time. So if you set it for 3 seconds, it's set for 3 seconds, okay? Like I said, there's not a heck of a lot of differences between the relay except the time. The cool thing about this pin schematic is it actually will match the pins on the relay that you have. So see those pins? They're actually numbered the exact same way, and there's a little notch on the center post that will actually help you orient that if you'd like to. Again, I don't find that super useful, but it is kind of a neat way of showing it. They do call it an input on this schematic. I'm not really totally sure why, and it doesn't matter which direction you hook it up to. It's not polarity sensitive, so don't worry about that too much. Otherwise, that's probably all you need to know to get yourself started. What we're going to do is we're going to build some really simple labs, just kind of playing around with it using a normally closed circuit and then a normally open to get you guys used to it and comfortable, all right? So let's go ahead and move on.